For a long time, the solar tax credit has been the industry's golden ticket, giving a 30% credit towards the entire cost of an installation. But with the new legislation, HR 1 making that fade out, the industry is looking at a potential downturn. And people are wondering, solar companies are wondering, what is going to be next and how am I going to survive through this? SIA's numbers are already noting that from Q2 of 2024, the industry is down 24% comparatively year over year. And compared to Q1 of 2025, Q2 is down another 28%. So with the looming tax credit looking to reduce a lot of the industry, how does a business go about surviving? We talked a lot on this channel about diversification tactics and the different ways that you can diversify your business in order to adapt to the new market trends. We want to focus on one very specific one today, and that is batteries. You may be watching this thinking, Ryan, we've talked about batteries. What is new about batteries? And they can be the key to a differentiator in your market and success after the ITC. So let's talk about why. It may seem like batteries are not a new technology, and for all intents and purposes, they're not a new technology, but you would be shocked to find out the number of companies that are not yet embracing batteries or even actively trying to offer them to their homeowners. But batteries provide immense value to both homeowners, businesses, and the grid as a whole. Not only for grid reliability and stability and risk mitigation, because we do know that outages are up 16% and the duration of those outages are up 33%. But the stability that can provide to a home gives tremendous peace of mind. The technology has also gone through a ton of maturity and cost declines over the past couple of years. So we're seeing that batteries are getting cheaper and cheaper and cheaper. The technology is getting better and better and more reliant over time. But we're also seeing new incentive pathways. Because the national incentives are fading away, there are many local area, state, and even utility incentives that are popping up to be able to give some more incentive to people going batteries. Virtual power plant programs everywhere, and also utilities who are literally giving direct cash for homeowners to install battery storage. I've talked about that in a bunch of different articles that I'll link above for you that you can see some of our incentive videos. Batteries are becoming more than just a nice to have. They're becoming a critical part of the market as the utility policy across the United States shifts away from full retail rate net metering. So let's talk about how a company can actually utilize batteries. I want to be clear that I'm not advocating for companies to push batteries unnecessarily on their homeowners. At its core, the battery conversation has to always be about trust, transparency, and really discovering the true values that a homeowner needs. But when a company is just refusing to offer batteries or even just not even bringing up the conversation at all with the homeowner because they assume they may not be interested, they're leaving money on the table. Data from Energy Sage already notes that 73% of the homeowners who are on their platform express interest in batteries. And SIA is noting that 82% of all new capacity added to the grid this last year was solar plus storage in various different residential and commercial capacities. So the bottom line is homeowners want storage. And if you don't talk about it, you're not giving yourself the opportunity for that revenue. Not only right on the front end, but also the return revenue for it. If you're a solar company, an installer, a salesperson, whatever it is, here are a few strategies that you can use right now to start building your business better for batteries. Number one is, of course, what we just talked about. You have to start talking about that with homeowners, talking about the experience, what it can provide and value to your home. But the most important thing you could start doing is you can actually start designing systems for batteries to begin with. You can have that conversation with the customers, but ultimately some people are going to choose just to not go with a battery at this time. And that's fair. That is their decision at the end of the day. But you can always plan in the way you design your installations with room to add a battery down the road. If we've learned one thing about this industry is that utility rates will change, till policies will change, and it may become more lucrative for homeowners to add that battery down the road. So if you plan for that right now, you can open up that return revenue for yourself down the road when your customers are ready to add that battery. Number two is you have to optimize for value. If you're going to walk in with the same old tired pitch of the utility rate savings or anything there, it's not going to hit the way you want it to. You really have to dive into the true value, talk about resiliency, talk about grid instability, bring real data that shows what the grid is doing when they're experiencing outages, and dig into the values that that battery can have. If you lead with value over price, it's going to make it a much more compatible conversation for your homeowners. Number three, you have to think about the supply chain and compliance. Whether we like it or not, FIAC restrictions, a whole bunch of new restrictions on equipment are coming in. They're going to make it harder for certain incentives to be claimed or even for equipment to be available. So having a good team that's looking at the compliance, making sure that everything you're getting is a solid supply chain, is going to benefit you great down the road. We've talked about innovative financing models in different videos that I will link above for you, but having a good innovative financing model for storage is a great option. There are some solar lenders who are developing loans that are just purely for storage only, or working with local banks and credit unions can give your homeowners great opportunities to go with storage and make it affordable for them. And lastly, you need to make sure that you're monitoring policy shifts. I said this happens all the time. We know the solar coaster is going to go up and down constantly. So having some people on your team who are monitoring policy actively, whether that's changing incentives, utility policies, utility rates, can only help messaging that you're bringing to your homeowners, the trust and transparency that you can build when you're talking about this stuff. So the bottom line, are batteries the key to success in the post-ITC world? They're not the key, but they can be a key. They're part of a diverse strategy that companies are going to have to take to build more value and really dive into what it is that their homeowners want. If you plan for it properly and you start now, importantly, you can be ahead of the game so you know how to properly use this leverage for your success. If you wait for different policies, different technologies, or shifts to be made, you're already behind the eight ball. So utilizing batteries is a fantastic way to prepare yourself for the future and open up new revenue streams. Great addition to any battery install is one of Solar Insure's SI30 total or SI30 battery warranties that cover parts, labor, and a free battery replacement for a 30-year period. You find out more about SI30 total and SI30 battery for homeowners and solar providers at the video description. Thanks for watching. Hope you learned something today. If you did, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel. We'll catch you in the next one.